Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation afternoon update, guys, with some more Rangers news for you from this morning's media and this morning's stories coming out of the club. Yes, it is the winter break. Yes, it is means no proper football until 20th, I think it is, against Dumbarton in the Cup, which is just desperate times. Although we have got the friendly against Hertha Berlin, which I believe is streamed on Rangers TV, which we'll try and bring you here, and also the game against Copenhagen at Ibrox as well. So there are some friendlies coming up, something to look forward to. As Philippe Clement, as he said in the media the other day, he doesn't take a break. He never stops working. He will keep pushing this. He has a lot to think about. He says how to train the players, what to do with the players once he gets to La Manga, and before that, obviously working on the January transfer window, which he described as being very active. You know, if you listen to what this guy has got to say, it is exceptionally committed. He is 100% committed to the cause. In love with the game. In fact, you may say obsessed with the game, the way he talks about the fact that, like I said, he will not be taking a lot of time off. He will spend some time with his family, he said, but his major focus, his brain will be working on football all of the time. And obviously looking at training methods, looking at talking to players, looking at obviously being at La Manga, what he can get across to the players and what he can improve for Rangers going forward. Now, obviously, one of the things he talked about was the January transfer window. And like I said on this morning's video, every man, his horse, his chicken, his dog, his elephant, his cat's budgerigar, and his budgerigar's fish's pet chinchilla will be linked with Rangers between now and the end of the January transfer window, particularly given the fact that we do have needs at striker, at winger, at centre midfield, at left back, at central half. Thank you, Michael Beale. Amazing transfer window you had over the summer. Jeez, man. Anyway, a name that refuses to go away is a name that I mentioned on the video this morning, Lawrence Shankland. Now, I was looking at what was in the papers this morning as regards Shankland and prices and things like that. And I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. You know, according to a lot of reports, Shankland is keen to join Rangers. He wants to come to the club, but he will remain professional. He's not going to down tools. He's not going to be one of those obstreperous players that gives up and stops training or stops to force a move through. He's too professional, and that is good, actually. You know, I'd rather have a player like that coming to Rangers who's a professional player, a player who doesn't, give up on his commitments, a player who honours his contract until such a time that the club are willing to let him go, which I get, and I think that's brilliant. Now, look, I know Shankland is someone who divides the fan base. I think, like I said, 50% of fans think that Shankland should come to the club. There's probably about 40% against him, and there's probably around about 10% who couldn't give a monkey's just as long as we get a striker. I think that's probably, fairly accurate anyway. Look, let's look at it in this respect. Now, Shankland is someone who has scored goals wherever he's been. Okay, Ed, under United, Hearts. Yes, he had that dodgy season in Belgium, but there was a lot of other reasons behind that, changing culture, obviously injury, etc., etc. But in Scotland, this guy knows how to get it done. He knows how to find the net. He knows how to score goals. He's the top scorer in Scotland this season with 18 goals. He is, he's a marksman. He's someone who knows how to finish. He can create his own chances. He can take chances that drop to him. He links play well. For me, he is a more all-round Chris Boyd, maybe even, and sacrilege now to say this, but could be an Annie McCoist type figure for the club, someone who will score goals on a regular basis. Now, I don't know how effective he'll be in Europe. He has scored goals in the Conference League and the UEFA Cup for the Europa League, as it's known, for Hearts. Yes, they haven't done very well. That's because Hearts are not a great team. But look, this is a guy who, for me, it's a no-brainer. He's going to score goals. Like I said to you on previous videos, those two chances that Cyril Dessers had against Celtic fall to him. He scores both of them. The header and the shot that he had that Dessers messes up on Sunday against who were we playing again? Whoever we were playing again the other day. Against Kilmarnock, that was it. He scores those goals. He scores them. Simple as. This guy would score goals. He will score you 15 to 20 goals in this second half of the season if we sign him. Now, I get as well, he hasn't played against the low block before, but we still create chances even against the low block. It is taking those chances that is the Rangers' issue. If you look at across the games, we create an awful lot of chances. The Aberdeen game, we created a lot of chances, didn't take them. Celtic game, created a lot of chances, didn't take them. Hearts, we did win 2-1, but again, created a lot of chances, didn't take them. So, for me, someone like Shankland, who can find the back of the net on a regular basis, to me, is an absolute no-brainer. Now, this is from a tweet that my good friend John Walker of This Is Ibrox, a fantastic podcast, guys. Check it out. Hit it up. I'm sure you all have. It's brilliant. He put this out earlier. Lawrence Shankland is a league's top scorer, Europa and Conference League goal scorer. He scores international goals. In the SPFL with 2 clubs in 85 appearances, he has 54 goal involvements. That's 45 goals, 9 assists. That's better than 1 in 2. That's better than 1 in 2. And even the goals is better than 1 in 2. Now, the idea that 28 is too old is utterly ridiculous, especially as some fans are even considering Kevin Van Veen, who is 32. You could easily get another 3-4 years out of Shankland. Yes, he doesn't have a sell-on value, but for me, this trading model needs to be applied flexibly. Yes, you do bring in players who are going to be players you develop, players you sell on, but you still need to bring in a core of experience to lead the team. Players that are not going to be there for value, that are not going to be there for sell-on assets, that are going to be there purely to win you leagues, to win you cups, to get you into the Champions League. And this is another thing, gets into the Champions League, automatically you get money from it. Again, and the idea that £3 to £5 million for a guy who's got a better goal record than 1 in 2 is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, look at it this way. Down south, if Shankland was English and was playing in the English Championship and had goal figures like that, you'd have to pay between 15 and 20 million pounds for him. Now, you can laugh at me for that if you want, but let me give you these examples. Jack Clark, who plays for Sunderland, okay, has got double-figure goals, less than Shankland, has got double-figure assists, okay, is currently valued at 25 million. Alex Scott, who played for Bristol City, no, not Alex Scott, he was got something Scott anyway. This guy who played for Bristol City, might have been Alex Scott, played for Bristol City, was transferred to Bournemouth. Again, this is a creative midfielder, a number 10, not a striker, who didn't have double-figure goals, didn't have double-figure assists, but was a promising young player. Was sold to Bournemouth by Bristol City for £20 million. So the idea that 3 to 5 million is a lot of money is utterly ridiculous. Now, when you consider we paid £4.5 million for the badly misfiring Cyril Dessers and £3 million for the absolutely hopeless Sam Lammers, is 3 to 5 million really a lot of money for the value you're going to get back? Now, say Shankland comes in, wins us his goals help us win the league, prize money there. His goals help us get as far and possibly win the Scottish Cup, prize money there. His goals qualify us for the Champions League, lots of money there. Is that therefore money wasted? Is not there a saying, speculate to accumulate? For me, it's a no-brainer, guys. Shankland, it's got to get done. Rangers, I really hope that they are looking at him. If he ends up going across the city to that lot for £4 million, it will be a bloody disgrace, and this board will need to hang their head in shame and ask, and big questions will need to be asked. Yes, I know we have Fabio Silva, but Silva is not an out-and-out striker. He's more a 10, or even I think will play in Abdallah Seema's position whilst Seema is away with Senegal at the Africa Cup of Nations. So we do need a striker. We do need a permanent basis signed striker. And for me, there is only one answer. That is Lawrence Shankland. Now, for those of you who we've been talking a lot, haven't we, about the whole Willie Collum is a cheat, Willie Collum is a disgrace kind of thing that's been going around a lot. Now, the SFA have pretty much sent a signal that this is it. There is no further action going to be taken. Nothing else is going to be done about it, as Shankland will be refereeing tonight. I think it's Queen's Park versus Dunfermline he'll be refereeing at. So it's clear the SFA have made a clear statement and said, forget it, Rangers. We're not going to do anything about it. Just forget it. It's not going to happen. He's not going to be sacked. He's not going to be held to account. He can be as shit as he wants, but he's still going to be given a job. You know, unlike us in our real world, whether in our real jobs, where if we were that bad, you know, if we delivered the wrong things to the wrong people and didn't deliver things and missed things off people's deliveries, or taught our children badly, or misdiagnosed a patient, we get the sack. But with referees, we're seeing yet again, there is zero accountability. And Collum is an absolute cheat and a disgrace. And so are the SFA. However, Chris Boyd has been talking about this conspiracy and this idea, and has pretty much said that Rangers pretty much just need to leave it now, forget about it, and move on. Now, I love Boydy, absolutely love Boydy. Rangers hero, goal scorer, reminds me a bit of Lawrence Shankland. Shankland reminds me a bit of Boydy, should I say. But he had some golden things to say to the media today. He said that Celtic are the real conspiracy kings of Scotland, and says that he feels that the Collum gripe has probably gone a little bit too far now. You know, Willie Collum, I think, is public enemy number one in the blue half of Glasgow. And, you know, we have called for him to be banned from ever refereeing a Rangers game again. Now, I can understand that. I can understand the frustrations of that. 100% get that. I would be inclined to agree with it. But Chris Boyd has kind of said that I think it's time to leave it now, to move it on, to give it up a little bit. And he's also talked a little bit about how we don't want to lower ourselves to the levels of that lot across the city. This is what he had to say to the Scottish Sun. He said, "There's only one club in Scottish football leading the way in conspiracy theories and the belief the world is against them, and it's not Rangers. Let's get it right. When it comes to peddling the narrative that the SFA and the referees are biased, Celtic are the kings. Their supporters have been brainwashed into believing our top officials are too terrified to award a penalty at Ibrox. Oh, funnily enough, we got one given against us the other day. Hey, there we go. That's my words, not his. He then went on to say their chief executive even spun the line at Celtic's recent AGM to divert attention away from the criticism the board were getting from shareholders. Predictably, I love this bit, predictably, the SAPs lapped it up, but it became an agenda that I saw discussed and repeated by podcast pundits who really should have known better. The truth is that Celtic fans think Rangers get an easy time for officials. Rangers think Celtic get an easy time for officials. And the rest of Scotland think that Celtic and Rangers get an easy time from officials. Which I think, it is a narrative I think that Hearts fans, Hibs fans, St Mirren fans will all spin. Now, he says they can't all be right, but there is one thing I'm certain about, that this criticism of Willie Collum has gone too far. It really has to stop. Where jurors were within their right to ask for an explanation over the controversial penalty incident, in my book, they were. But telling the SFA they don't want a Collum to officiate at their games any longer has gone way over the score. So, look, this is what he has had to say. And look, there's some of that I agree with and some of that I disagree with. He's right that the team that are the biggest conspiracy kings in Scotland, the ones that peddle the narrative, are Celtic. We know that. That's how that penalty probably wasn't given. That's how they didn't get any of their players sent off. That's how they get away with murder every single week, because they peddle this notion that they're sinned against, that they don't get their own way, that it's all given to Rangers, yada, yada, yada. So the referees are under pressure. They're kings there. They've done it ever since. They've done it since time immemorial. Ange Postecoglou was the king of it last season. So let's get that right. That is right, what he says. And he calling Celtic fans saps, also very correct as well. Saying that about what happened at the AGM, again, correct. However, I do believe that Collum shouldn't be allowed to referee another Rangers game. I just think that, for me, this incident pushed it too far. This incident shows that he isn't. To be honest with you, I actually think he shouldn't be allowed to referee another game. The guy isn't up to refereeing standards. That, for me, is the actual issue. Not the fact that he shouldn't be allowed to referee Rangers games, but he never should be allowed to referee again. He's proved that with his crap decision-making. And it's not just against Rangers. It's not just, gone against Rangers. There's decisions he's made in other games, against Celtic, against Dundee, against Hearts, against Hibs, all of which have been utter garbage. The guy has proven time and time again he is not fit to referee football games. And it's time he was sacked by the SFA. But like I said, it looks like the SFA are whitewashing the whole incident and are allowing Collum to get away with it. But guys, interesting words nonetheless from Chris Boyd. Well, I just wanted to bring you that quick afternoon update, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I do hope Rangers can get something done on the old Shankland deal. I would love to see it come up on my phone. Rangers sign Lawrence Shankland. It would be a brilliant move. Like I said, no brainer for me. Okay, guys, on the way out, if you could smash that like, and remember always, never forget, we are the people.